Well, hello, hello, hello. As you can see, I have a flower here. It's not an ordinary flower. A friend of mine gave me this flower pin inside of a little flower pot holder. And I've had it on my desk for some time. Haven't used it in a while. I wonder if it still writes. Yes, it does. It still writes. And it has me thinking about spring and lots of things are blooming. And I was thinking about books. Now, we've made some of these tiny books in previous episodes where we take a small single sheet of paper and make a book. Now, all these pages are connected just by folding. And in here, the entire page is folded into the book. This was my inspirational book. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. And it closes and returns back to its really small shape. Well, today I want to take this one piece of paper and make a book that blooms like a flower. It's going to open up and bloom out like a flower. I'm going to be teaching you how to do the lotus fold. But the first thing we need to do is make sure our paper is a square size. We need it to be square and not rectangular, so I'm going to take this and fold it over to the edge. And once I do that, this piece is no longer needed. I'm going to take it away, cut it off. I'm not throwing it away because I save everything like this. I could make something out of that later. Now I'll open this and fold this into fourths. 4 parts. So, in half and in half again. Good. Now I'm going to cut it into fourths. I'm ignoring that first diagonal line for now because I just need 4 little squares for the pages of this book. There are 2. And here are the other 2. Okay. Now these 2 have that diagonal fold, and I'm going to set these aside for now and start with the 2 that have no folds on them. The very first thing we're going to do is fold these into fourths like squares like we just did with the larger piece. So, in half and in half again. I'll do the second one. Fold in half, make the corners and edges touch. And fold in half again. Now the next thing that we'll do, I'm going to reverse the fold and make sure the fold is going great in any direction. Yes. Because it's important that the pages are able to move. Because like I said, this book is going to be blooming like a lotus flower. What is a lotus flower, you wonder? It's one of those aquatic flowers that grows in the water, and stem and leaves are sometimes mostly underwater, and only the bloom is above and it seems to float, almost like a water lily. Okay. This one has a fold going diagonally, but that is actually something we're going to need, but not just yet. So I'm doing fourths, folding it into fourths, into a little square, matching the corners, Make sure I have crisp folds in both directions. This is sort of an origami type of book. There are some people that really get into origami and love that they can take a piece of paper, fold it, and make it into an animal or something else that moves. I've had children make me some amazing origami creations over the years. Amazing things. Doing pretty much like what you're doing. Watching a how-to tutorial on YouTube. So, alright, this paper now has this diagonal fold going this way. I'm going to push in and hold it and push down. And when you look in there, you can see how it opens and it can close and fold back up. Alright, let's do that again. That diagonal fold is already in there. It's in there. Make sure all my folds are nice and crisp. And then I'm going to hold both ends of that diagonal line. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. And you're going to push in together. And then hold it and push down. That's two. So I have 1, 2. You're folded down. Alright, this one needs a diagonal fold because there isn't one there from earlier. I push it in and bring these diagonals together. And once again, hold it and push down. That's 3. And now the fourth one. Make sure all my folds are nice and crisp in every direction. Add that diagonal fold in there just once. And when I pick it up, if I put my thumb in the middle and push it in, it just starts to fold in on itself. And voila. So now I have 4 pages to this lotus fold book, what I like to call the blooming book, because it blooms like a flower. I am going to make sure that all of the middles are lined up together. So this part is open and this is the center. Make sure that this one is matching and glue it together like so. And I'll do the same thing here. You can see where these are open on this end. And so that means this corner is the center. So I'll bring this one over, okay. That means this corner is the center. I line it up. Once again, this is just going to be a small book that I can hold in the palm of my hand. Okay, so you see where they can open up, they're all connected, it's blooming. And this is the center here at the top. Add a little bit of glue stick, and once again, find where the top, the center is, and I line it up and match it, and voila. So there are my 4 pages to my little book. Now I need a cover. Oh. I saved this pastoroni box for an occasion such as this. Now, it's good to save some of these boxes because this cardboard is like poster board, which in a classroom situation I'd have poster board for us to use. But this is nice and sturdy for a book cover. So let me begin by tracing around the outside of this book. So I put it to the edge and I trace the other three sides. Okay, I'll just trace this to make the other book cover to match. And again, I only trace 3 of the sides because one side is already there. So I trace 3 sides. Voila. So I have book ends for the covers of the book, and I do not want that to show nutrition facts and directions. I do, although I want my cover to be fancier than just the plain cardboard, and I don't want to draw on it. I found this wonderful paper, botanical looking paper, in my scrapbooking section. So I'm going to use this for the covers. Just about this much of the paper. So I am just going to take about this much off. This is a huge piece of paper. And use it to cover these ends. So I made it bigger than this because I'm going to do something really cool. Okay. I add glue to this part that I feel is not so pretty, and I put it in the center here. Now, I make a diagonal cut like this on all 4 corners. That way, I can fold this in. I can fold it in on all 4 sides. Could add a little glue, and it's on there. Snug and neat. Let me show you that again. Add some glue to the directions and nutritional part of the box. Stick it on to the back side of this botanical paper. I snip the corners off right there at the corners of all 4 sides, 4 corners. And then I can fold this in. Fold these sides in, and fold these sides in. So for the sake of time, I'm going to do this really quick. A little bit of glue on all the 4 sides, and stick it in, stick them down, and hold them. Wonderful. Now do the same thing on the other one, just a little. We want it to hold tight because we'll be adding the pages for our Blooming Lotus book. Little tiny books. I'm really getting a kick out of making these with you all. And then I can glue this down. So I'm going to add glue, 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 a little bit on those edges there that we want to stay down. And center it and stick it right in there. that might not be centered. There. That's better. And do the same thing on this side. Add some glue. That's not sticking so well, but it will in a minute once I press down. And do the same thing. Oh, that's going to be a cute book. And I put all the sides down. And hold it. Press down. This is such a pretty end cover. Looks like leaves and natural things. And since this is a book about a blooming lotus, all right, are you ready for it to bloom? Here we go. Voila. And as we open it, it forms this beautiful blooming flower. And then it closes right back together into this tiny book that fits in my hand, along with this tiny book and this tiny book. Oh, this one's the smallest one yet. All right. So, it's always fun to make cool stuff. Art makes you smart. This was my blooming lotus fold book. You can write whatever you want inside, draw whatever you want inside, or just leave it plain. I mean, this is a work of art in itself, the way it blooms out and comes back together. It's breathtaking. Thank you for making this with me. Come back again and we'll create more cool stuff.